5 pages of notes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I went into teacher mode, right? Because I found I do much better when I'm me and I'm not trying to be him. When I try to be him and make jokes and say this doesn't work. Okay, so key verse today, 1 Corinthians 13. Is it coming up behind? So I want to read through it first. My phone's way too small, so we're just going to all read it together. Start in 2 or 3. I think it's 3. There we go. No, 4.
What chapter?
By any chance, do you have the NIV version? No. That's fine. Okay, so love suffereth long, which is patience, right? Love is patient, love is kind. It envieth not. Oh my goodness, King James. Charity vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up. Does not behave itself unseemly. I had to get the English accent to go along with the old English, sorry. Seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth, we don't talk like that anymore, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. I translated it into normal English. Don't call it a fight. Charity never fails, but where there be prophecies, they will fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. So we're going to go ahead and stop in 7. So we hear all these things that love, which is also called charity, is. Okay? So love is patient. What does being patient look like? How do we be patient? Greatest Christian joke ever is don't pray for patience. Because if you want patience, what's God going to do? He's going to give you all kinds of opportunities to practice patience, which means you're going to be in the longest line, and you're going to switch over to the one that has one person in it, and that long line is going to go all the way through while you're still standing there. It means you're going to get on an airplane, and your luggage is going to disappear, right? You have to be patient. You have to just stay calm. And don't pray for patience, right? So, but love is patient. And if we have God's love, right, then we are supposed to love others. We're supposed to be patient. Now, I'm going to come at all of these from a mother's point of view. But those of you who are not mothers, some never will be. You will be fathers, right? And some of us just aren't quite mothers yet, but we all have a mother, right? And we can see how these things are played out from a mother's point of view. But they're also, we are called to love one another. So think about this in how you treat your friends, how you treat the checker at the grocery store. All of these people, we are supposed to love them. Okay, so love is patient. It is an adjective, so it is a describing word. See, teacher. It says bearing, right? That's carry, provocation, annoyance, misfortune, delay, hardship, pain, etc., with fortitude and calm. So when you have someone screaming in your face, like toddlers love to do because they have to push limits, we're supposed to remain calm and speak in a soothing voice, right? And then they turn into teenagers. And if anyone here has girl teenagers, you get to hear the lovely, I hate you. I wish you weren't my mother. And you still have to be calm because you know that they really don't hate you. And they will move past that. Okay, second, love is kind. What is being kind, right? So there's an adjective also. It says being of good or benevolent, I can't talk today, benevolent nature or disposition as any kind and loving person, having or showing or proceeding from benevolence. So doing things for people just because, not because you're going to get something out of it, right? Doing something for your child just because it's the nice thing to do, right? even though sometimes we don't want to. Just being nice. And then the third definition says indulgent, considerate, or helpful. We see our child struggling. Sorry, it's the mom. That's right. We see our child struggling. We want to help. We want to think about their privacy, right? There are moments when we absolutely, my children will tell you this, invade their privacy for their own good. But for the most part, we want to respect their privacy, right? And help them grow into the adults that they will become. But I really like the first one, indulgent. We spoil our kids because we love them, right? We will say yes to anything that we can absolutely say yes to, right? There's times where we have to say no. But if there's no good reason to say no, we absolutely want to say yes. We want them to have everything that they want. We want to indulge them. That's part of being kind. Love does not envy. Okay? Envy is a feeling of discontent or covetousness with regard to another's advantages, success, or possessions. Now this one's kind of interesting. I was like, okay, God, how do I... Most people aren't covetous or envious of their children, but we can be, right? They don't have to pay bills. Speaking of little ones, right? Mine all have to pay bills, they're all adults now. But when they're little, we can absolutely be envious of the fact that they can run and play. They can crash out on the couch and sleep for hours, and nobody's gonna wake them up. Right? We're like, let sleeping babies lie.
That's
First
right.
rule of motherhood.
Yes.
Okay? So there are things that we can be covetous of our children, and it says, love does not do that. We know that we had our time, and now we're adults. We get to do the adulting, right? Love does not boast. It's a verb, right? Boasting is something you do. So to speak with exaggeration or excessive pride, especially about oneself. So, and my little note on the side here says, well, when I was your age, right? You hear the old men telling stories. I walked uphill 10 miles both ways to get to school, right? Why can't you do it? Well, when I was your age, I would have never done something like that. That is being boastful, right? Our children are not going through what we went through. It is a different world. It is a very different world, right? Cell phones were something George Jetson had on TV, right? That he could walk around with a phone and go in his car and have a phone. Not something that we had every day. Now, my 17-year-old has her iPhone. She's got her MapQuest, and she's got Facebook. Not that she ever uses it. She can text mom and dad at the same time to ask a question. Her older sisters were like, oh, I have to wait till mom and dad are in the same room to ask for something. And it was hilarious, like, because they'd ask me, and I'd say, well, I have to talk to your dad. Or, yeah, what did your dad say? And they'd ask dad, well, I got to talk to mom. What did your mom say? Bobby can just text us both. She's asking us both at the same time, even if he's at work and I'm at work or whatever. Okay? But, sorry, I got a little off track there. It also means to speak of pride or be boastful of like one's wealth or what you've accomplished. So I can see this in like how much schooling you have, okay? If your child does not want to go to college and you have a degree and you're like, well, look what I did, you should be able to do this too, right? Or you may never do that, but I did it. Because you're so much better at boasting. All right. Next one, it is not proud. And this one can get iffy, right? Because we are proud of our children. We can be proud of our accomplishments, but it's talking about that whole persona of proudness, okay? Feeling pleasure or satisfaction over something regarded as highly honorable or creditable to oneself. Once again, it's that, look what I did. Look how awesome I am, right? And I have to say, I'm really good at not doing this one because I'd rather be behind the scenes. This is outside of my comfort zone, okay? Y'all know, all you that know me know this is not my comfort zone, okay? So, second definition says showing a high opinion of one's own dignity, importance, or superiority. So how do we think of that with our children? Do we make ourselves look like we're so much better than the homeless man on the corner? We're better than them, right? Because we take care of our bills. Would that be proud in front of our children? What example is that giving them? Okay, I was trying to fit all this into how does it affect a mother? Mothers usually, we're proud of our children. But anytime you hold yourself as better than somebody, that's what it's talking about here. It's about being proud of who you are and what you've accomplished, not because you want to be a good example to somebody, but because you want the spotlight on you. All right. Next one is always protects. Okay, I think this one's really easy for moms. I actually saw something on Facebook today, and while I don't agree with the whole karma thing, it said, if you mess with me, I will let karma take its toll, whatever. You mess with my kids, I become karma. Okay, and well, obviously I don't believe the whole karma thing, but yeah, you mess with my kids, and I'm definitely going into protector mode, okay? We were in a car accident, 16 years ago now, okay? Bobby was not quite a year old. It was New Year's Eve morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, we were hit by a drunk driver. Okay, now any of you who know me, I'm the calm one. And Richard is the one with the anger issues and the big, right? Oh, no. He was nice and calm. I came flying out of that car like I was going to just tear this woman apart. Oh my gosh, you hit my baby. Because we had all the kids in the car. Bobby was in her little tiny car seat, and I was just like, screaming in the middle of an intersection, right? Definitely went into protector mode. But how else can we protect our children, right? Would we let them watch on TV? Okay? A lot of times we go, well, there's nothing wrong with that. And I see that a lot now because I don't have toddlers in my house. So what is okay to watch in my house is very different than what it was 10, 15 years ago, right? You go, oh, Mom, maybe that's not, the best thing for a 3-year-old to be watching. We should probably change channel. Not that we watch anything like that, but there's levels of appropriateness, right? You cough with this thing. Okay, so the definition of always protects, right, is to defend or guard from attack, invasion, loss, annoyance, insult, to be a cover or a shield from injury or danger, right? So setting boundaries for our children, it's always a hard one because children are made to push against boundaries.
Wow,
That is what boundaries are for. But as they push against them, they go, okay, you're right. I'm not going to get past this. So now I know my limits and I'm secure, right? We have boundaries. You think of a big brick wall or something like that, right? So yeah, it means it holds you from going out there. but it's also that protection. Okay, so boundaries. And boundaries can be in any kind of relationship. Okay, not just with your children. You need to have boundaries in your friendships. You need to have boundaries in your relationships with coworkers and not just friends, not just boyfriends, okay? Or girlfriends. Not that I plan on him having any girlfriends. That's not allowed anymore.
That's
He's like, I missed something. Okay. Next one is always trusts. Trust is a reliance on the integrity, strength, ability, and surety of a person or thing. It is also a person on whom or thing on which one relies. Okay? Our children rely on us. That's the way it should be. Which means we as mothers need to be consistent. They need to know that if they run to us, we're going to be there, no matter how old they are. I still run to my mommy sometimes, and I'm sure she's probably watching right now. We never outgrow that security of mom, and we need to make sure that we are that security of mom. When they wake up with nightmares, when their world is just going all out of whack, sometimes it's hard as the mom to be secure when everything's going crazy. Forgive me. It's just me. It's what I do. But we have to be there for our kids. Sometimes that's hard. We have to get through it so that they can always trust in us, and we always trust that the relationship will be there. Always hopes. Gosh, are we so close? Always hopes. So that feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that the events will turn out for their best. Right? So when your child comes home and says, oh, I'm so stupid, I can't pass this class, or whatever, you go, yes, you can. We have that hope. It's going to turn out all right. Or when they have their heart broken, okay? It's going to be all right. We can get through this. Go to the Word. This should be our first response. Unfortunately, it's not always. But we can get through this. Bobby wanted to do something. Volleyball, right? It's not cheap. But we said, if this is really something you want to do, we'll figure it out. We cut corners over here, and don't go to dinner quite as often, and we're fine. We'll work it out. Even though at the time it may be overwhelming, but you always have that hope. Okay, God's got this. We can make it through this. Always perseveres. So perseverance is to persist in anything undertaken, so maintain a purpose in spite of difficulty, obstacles, or discouragement, to continue steadfastly. So we got married very young. Everybody said it would not last, right? Teenage marriages do not last. Now granted, I do not recommend it, because statistically, no, they do not. But we were stubborn enough, and we persevered. Mainly, I think those first few years was because we were not going to be a statistic. No matter how much we got into arguments or whatever happened, we were not going to be a statistic, and we were going to make it, right? We need to persevere when your child is screaming in your face and bedtime is 8 o'clock, and you pick them up, and you calmly walk them, and you put them in their bed for the 20,000th time. Mm-hmm. You persevere. You persevere when you say, no, you cannot take the car on Friday night. And they beg and they whine and they go, please, 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 I'll do the dishes for a year, right? If you've made a decision, you need to persevere. No matter what is going on around you, okay? Hopefully that decision is between mom and dad. Otherwise it gets a lot harder. Okay, it also means to bolster, to sustain, and to uphold. So helping our children persevere when AP tests and double sport practices and life is falling down around them. Lifting them up. Okay? Bolstering them. You can do it. You can do it. Helping them persevere. Now I flipped pages here. So I'm going back to keeps no records of wrongs. Are you following me? Not following me? So love keeps no record of wrongs. And I was excited when I saw this one. It says to set down in writing or the like as for the purpose of preserving evidence to use against them later. Blackmail. Okay? And the first thing that came to mind is social media. You get on there and go, I can't believe what my daughter just did. Oh my gosh, she did it. And the next day you and your daughter meet up and you're fine, or son. I have daughters, sorry. But you have just put them on blast for all the world to see, and that does not go away. That is preserving a record, whether you intended it that way or not. Okay, so those of you who are in that social media generation and are constantly on your phones, please be careful what you say.
That's right.
About your friends, about your family, about yourself.
Yep.
Okay, it's not private. I don't care what privacy settings you have. Okay? Yes, make sure your privacy settings are that the whole world can't see and all that. But still, be very careful what you put on social media.
That's right.
Okay? And I'm going to leave it at that, right? We don't want to put our kids on blast, and we don't want to bring up things from the past that fight fair.
Unless it's fun.
Okay, there are some things. I'm thinking like in arguments or, what's against trouble. Yes, bringing up funny things I did. Yeah, that's great. All right. It does not delight in evil. Evil is defined as something morally wrong or bad, immoral, wicked, harmful, or injurious. Okay? The two things that came to mind when I read that was I told you so, and I was right. Right? So when you tell your kids, if you keep doing that, this is going to happen, and they don't believe you, and they fall on their face, and they come crying back, you not go, see, I told you so. You do not take delight in that. At least I work right now. Yeah. We should still feel the compassion.
It depends.
Okay, Danny, I guess I divided by Sarah. But yeah, those words should not be in your vocabulary, and they certainly shouldn't be as friends, right? With your family members, with your coworkers. That would go back to being proud, right? Well, I told you that was going to happen. If you had just listened to me, right? All right, and then my last one says, but rejoices in the truth. And you didn't know that's when you chose that video, when we chose that video last night. But I loved how the mom took what God says about her son. That's the truth, right? Our children can feel ugly and stupid and whatever. we have to remind them of the truth, of what God says about them. So now I want to go through, I'm actually going to read this one from my phone. And I challenge you this week to read through 1 Corinthians 13, but instead of love, I want you to say I. I am. Okay? So I'm going to read it. Here we are. Starting in verse 4. I am patient. I am kind. I do not envy. I do not boast. I am not proud. I do not dishonor others. I am not self-seeking. I am not easily angered. I keep no record of wrongs. I do not delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. I always protect. I always trust. I always hope, and I will always persevere. We thank you, Lord, today that you've given us this example of love and how exactly to love one another. And we look forward to deepening that love and what exactly it means in our hearts this week as we read this verse or these verses and put ourselves into them. We thank you, Lord, for the service today and for all of the mothers that are in attendance.